Welcome everyone and welcome back to Unlimited Racing 2D Championships Season 4. We're here in Malaysia for the final Asian Grand Prix of the season. And the third to last Grand Prix of the actual season. This season's just rushed by, honestly. It's been so fast. It's been so quick. For a 15 race season, it's gone so quickly. With 3 races to go, honestly every point now is crucial. Look at the top 4. Look how close the top 4 are. Honestly, I couldn't, even George Russell can still win this. Carlos Sainz though leading the championship. Honestly, at one point this year, I thought we were going to see Charles Leclerc, make history and become the first ever driver to take 2 championships. But Carlos Sainz so far is preventing that from happening, and Max Verstappen and George Russell are going to make it hard for him. Daniel Ricciardo, honestly, I think he's been standout driver of the season with 3 wins. Esteban Ocon taking 1. Gasly was near, he's come very close to a win. With Lando, getting podiums. I don't think he'll win this year because not as good as it was last year. But yeah, Bottas, he's had some good performances, and obviously Giovinazzi getting on podium, 3 times this season. Sergio Perez, P11, not been a good year for him. Neither has it been for Alex Albon, once again getting dominated by his teammate. Mick Schumacher on paper, I guess you could say, is closer to Perez, although points, when you look at the points, still fairly hefty gap. Oscar Piastri in his debut season, I think he can be happy. Lance Stroll, I guess you could say, is the fastest driver out of the bottom 3 teams. With Callum Ilott 16th, Nico Hülkenberg 17th, 10 points ahead of Nikita Mazepin, who's not last, not even second from last. The AlphaTauri's gone through some, drastic upgrades. Kevin Magnussen P19 with Yuki Tsunoda last. Constructors wise, it looks like this. Alfa Romeo leading by 6 points. Honestly, I said every point's going to matter. Every point is really going to, matter. The Alpine P2 with the Mercedes P3. They're beginning now to gap Red Bull with, their recent good form. However, 12 points isn't a lot of points, so anything can happen. McLaren P5 with Force India P6, Williams P7, AlphaTauri P8, Ferrari P9, and Haas P10. Let's get into the weekend. My favorite for pole, let's see, it's 1 out of 4, I guess you could say. Let's say Verstappen. I'm saying Verstappen for pole. I guess we'll find out the next around a minute. Verstappen so far, down the straight, he was the quickest. This is a fairly long track, People are saying maybe it may get taken off the calendar. I guess we'll have to find out. We'll have to see and find out. Max Verstappen though, what a lap this has been from him. For once, my prediction may actually be right. Charles Leclerc though is really close. Look at Leclerc, down the back straight. Leclerc now has P1. Leclerc has P1. Or does he? Because Verstappen's got a really good run out of the final corner. It's going to be so close. I think Leclerc has just taken pole. However, I've been wrong in the past. And yes, for once I'm actually right. Well, I mean, my prediction was wrong, but, Leclerc, P1, beating out Max Verstappen by 0.02 of a second. Daniel Ricciardo joins Esteban Ocon on the second row. Carlos Sainz, if there's one place he needs to improve, is his qualifying pace. However, don't be surprised if by the end of the first lap, he's running in the top 3. Antonio Giovinazzi, really good qualifying, beating out George Russell. He cannot be having these performances if he wants to challenge for the title. Lando Norris, he knows how it feels to challenge for a title. He'll be starting from P8 with Bottas and Gasly finishing off the top 10. Oscar Piastri in P11 with Alexander Albon P12. Perez and Schumacher and the Williams, they'll be occupying row number 7 with Callum Ilott P15, Lance Stroll P16. Yuki Tsunoda's P17 with Nikita Mazepin P18. Magnussen and Hülkenberg fill out the grid. Starting on hards, we have Ricciardo, Giovinazzi and Norris in the top 10. Anyways, lights out and away we go. Here in Malaysia. It's a good start from Ricciardo. Going down the inside of Verstappen. He doesn't quite get the move done. Ricciardo's on the hards, so he'll be looking to go a little longer. Leclerc, though, has been overtaken by Verstappen. Verstappen retakes the lead. There's Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi wants to take a podium. P2 actually for Antonio Giovinazzi. Verstappen though, looks like he'll be finishing the first lap in the lead of this Grand Prix. It was a very good first lap from Max Verstappen, I must say. Further down, we're seeing Carlos Sainz. I said, don't be surprised to see him in the top 3 after lap 1. Right now, he's falling. You can say the same thing for George Russell. Both Sainz and Russell on the hard tyres. Honestly, the hards, they aren't that good of a tyre. However, we missed an overtake. Charles Leclerc has now made the move for the lead on Max Verstappen. He's going to try to go around the outside. Esteban Ocon's going to make it hard for him. Leclerc's got no more Ers left. Verstappen's going down the inside. Ocon wants to go down the inside as well. Verstappen leads lap 2. And now Ocon's managed to get P2. Further back, we can see Pierre Gasly making a move on Valtteri Bottas. Daniel Ricciardo, who had such a good start, now running P9. George Russell running P12. I guess you could say this is just what, Alfa Romeo wanted with, obviously, Verstappen battling at the top. Sainz, P10, that's not what they would have wanted, but George Russell running P12. However, saying that, Charles Leclerc has the lead of the Grand Prix, and that's where the big points are given out. They're all pitting. Are any of the soft tyre runners going to go for the gamble? I don't think so. None of them are going to go for the gamble, which is awkward, Usually we see a couple of drivers going for the gamble, staying out a lap longer. But this is, this is how you know that your race is really falling down. Sainz and Russell, they stayed out. They've already been passed by the leaders. But look at Esteban Ocon. He's on a charge. Ocon up to P1. Leclerc now into P2. Leclerc's on the hard tyres. The yellow striped hard tyres. Ricciardo is now gone in with Russell and Sainz to follow. But Esteban Ocon, 1/3 of the race, we're 1/3 into the race, and Esteban Ocon has the lead. I didn't think, Ocon would be leading, but it just shows the Mercedes race pace and Ocon's skill. He's already managed to win, his maiden Grand Prix victory, which happened this season's Belgium Grand Prix. I'm sure he can win another one. Who says he can't? Valtteri Bottas, though, I think he's done the dummy. He's done the dummy on Charles Leclerc. I thought he was going to go around the outside, but last second managed just to, trick Charles Leclerc and go down the inside. What an overtake. That's a very good move. Those hard tyres, though, are not working around Sepang. Tyre wear is very high. It's not like I think it was Kyalami. Round 3, the South African Grand Prix, where tyre wear was fairly low. Daniel Ricciardo managed to win that day. Red Bull's first ever win and Ricciardo's first ever win, actually. Around here, though, it looks like tyre wear is very, very high. Esteban Ocon's come out behind his teammate, which is not ideal. I'm sure Gasly will let him through, yep. Does just that. Multi-21 orders, Gasly isn't racing his teammate Esteban Ocon. Ocon's racing for the win, actually. And there he is. I think Ocon's just going to be on the very, very aggressive strategy. And that's going soft. Maybe if his tyres die around lap 9, lap 10, he may go on the hards. As he slams on the brakes there. He's going to hit Charles Leclerc if he hadn't slammed on the brakes. There you can see Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly drive past. They will be easy meat, soon enough. Although Bottas is on, fairly fresh hards. Once these laps, these are the laps which are going to win Esteban Ocon the Grand Prix. If he can push hard enough and fast enough for long enough on those soft tyres. Verstappen, who's also on soft, and Charles Leclerc, who's also on softs, may not be able to get get past him. Although it's going to be down to this lap now. Esteban Ocon's going to have to push. However, he has traffic. He has to lap some drivers. Nikita Mazepin being one of them. I'm sure if Bottas can hold up Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen for even a lap, he'll be somewhere around Esteban Ocon's Christmas card list. There's Max Verstappen on the softs. He's not had the best Grand Prix. If it were to finish like this, Charles Leclerc would retake the championship lead away from Carlos Sainz, who's running P7. Esteban Ocon's in. Bottas nearly pushes Leclerc into the pits. They both drive past the pit entry. Esteban Ocon now has come out in P3, and as I predicted, if Ocon could pit around, lap 9, lap 10, lap 11, maybe not lap 11, lap 9 and lap 10, he'd definitely go on the hards. Now it's Charles Leclerc who's going to have to push. He also had some traffic to lap, in the two Ferraris, and he had to overtake Valtteri Bottas. So he will definitely come out behind Esteban Ocon. I think he'll pit and come out if he really wants to. He can go on the softs. However, as we've seen the last two races, Leclerc likes playing it safe. He likes to go on the hards. And he goes on the hards once again. Bottas on hards. Max Verstappen on hards too. Daniel Ricciardo on hards. So it's too early to go on the softs until the end of the Grand Prix. There's Esteban Ocon. The gap between Ocon and Leclerc, 5 seconds. Any back markers between Leclerc and Ocon? The two Ferraris. Tsunoda will be another back marker between Leclerc and Ocon. Ocon making, contact with Yuki Tsunoda. Leclerc gained some time from that. Lance Stroll, who's running P15, is the next driver for Esteban Ocon to lap. Charles Leclerc, though, you have to admit, Leclerc is much quicker than Esteban Ocon. Ocon's going to need to dispatch Lance Stroll fairly easily, and he does just that. There's Charles Leclerc. Honestly, he is the faster of the two cars right now, and he's gaining rapidly on Esteban Ocon. Valtteri Bottas running in P3. His fight is going to be with Max Verstappen, although Verstappen may have to first of all defend from Daniel Ricciardo. He does that very well. The gap at the top though, 1.52 seconds now, 2.3 seconds. Whilst I said that, Daniel Ricciardo went for a really good move on Max Verstappen. However, around the outside, Verstappen didn't make it move. But now, second bite of the apple, manages to get the move done. Charles Leclerc now, his tyres aren't in the best of state. However, this is when Esteban Ocon's tyres are going to be finished. His tyres are going to be done. So for Charles Leclerc, it's now or never. Can Ocon defend for his life for this win? Oh, no. Leclerc retakes the lead of the Grand Prix. Esteban Ocon couldn't defend hard enough for long enough, and now even Lance Stroll's managed to get past him, although he relaps him. I don't think Ocon will have enough tyres to get back at Charles Leclerc. I think Charles Leclerc may have just won this Grand Prix, especially with no more back markers now for Charles Leclerc to lap. I think Mick Schumacher will just be too far away from Charles Leclerc. Valtteri Bottas now is looking at Esteban Ocon. Can Bottas get the move? This is where all the drivers have been getting their moves done. Round the outside of turn 2 and through turn 3, and there we have it. Valtteri Bottas now holds P2. Max Verstappen though with Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, sorry. Now, Alfa Romeo can either decide to switch the cars, let Carlos Sainz in front. That will help Carlos Sainz in the fight for Drivers' Championship. However, don't forget, Max Verstappen's also fighting for the Drivers' Championship. However, one thing that we know is that Charles Leclerc will be going back to the top of the Drivers' Championship as he wins here in Malaysia. What a Grand Prix it was for Charles Leclerc. Valtteri Bottas P2. Esteban Ocon just about manages to finish on the podium with Max Verstappen P4. Carlos Sainz P5 with Daniel Ricciardo P6. P7 that went to Pierre Gasly. P8 a horrendous weekend for George Russell. Honestly, that was a horrible weekend for him. Definitely one for him to forget. P9 Lando Norris with Antonio Giovinazzi P10. P11 Sergio Perez with P12 Alex Albon. P13 Oscar Piastri. P14 Mick Schumacher. P15 Lance Stroll. P16 Callum Ilott. P17 Nikita Mazepin. P18 Yuki Tsunoda. P19 Nico Hülkenberg. And P20 Kevin Magnussen. So as I said in the actual Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc back at the top of the Drivers' Championship now with an 11-point lead. That's the largest it's been for a little while now. Going into, the last stages of the season with 2 races to go. The next race, Australia, then we go to Brazil for the season finale. 10 points behind Carlos Sainz is Max Verstappen. With George Russell, I think with this performance, mentally he's definitely, not going to be in the best of state to challenge, to really give it one last push for his second Drivers' Championship. Daniel Ricciardo, 10 points ahead of Esteban Ocon. Ocon's really been putting in the performances. And this year, I think, has asserted him to be number 1 driver at Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas with that podium, he has the same amount of points as Lando Norris, with Antonio Giovinazzi finishing off the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. Sergio Perez, 6 points ahead of Alex Albon, with Mick Schumacher, it's practically been there all season. However, Oscar Piastri is going to give him some trouble. Lance Stroll only 10 points behind Oscar Piastri. I think if Stroll can get P14, potentially, one of the drivers of the season. Callum Ilott P16, Nico Hülkenberg P17, Nikita Mazepin P18, Kevin Magnussen P19, and Yuki Tsunoda last in the championship. Constructors wise, it looks like this. Alfa Romeo still have their championship lead. However, Alpine only 2 points now behind Alfa Romeo. As I said, 2 Grand Prix to go, anything can happen. Mercedes and Red Bull, 7 points is the difference between those two. Honestly, that's going to go down to the wire. McLaren, I think they've got P5, solidified. With Force India, I think it's going to be close between themselves and Williams. One really good race for Williams, and all of a sudden it's game 1 again. AlphaTauri P8, Haas P9, and Ferrari last. Next time out, we're going to be at Australia, but what a Grand Prix win that was for Charles Leclerc. He's going to be happy with that, and it also not only puts him back top of the Drivers' Championship, but constructors-wise, Alpine move a little closer to Alfa Romeo. Anyways, can't wait to see you next time out at Australia. Thank you and goodbye.